What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel where we cover a lot of the comic book superhero games. I just want to thank you for tuning in and shout out to one of my audience members who has actually pushed me to this direction to check out this game. The developers yesterday on the 13th of October hosted a live stream event where they got to play the game, talk about different mechanics, and I wanted to take some time to discuss this specifically in one aspect that might appeal to a lot of gamers who are not necessarily into playing these kinds of games that Firaxis does develop. Now, the Midnight Suns game is a tactical turn-based RPG game of some kind, and so in your own estimation, you're going to have to approach the game in the best possible way that actually is suited to you, and the developers seem to have made that possible with the difficulty levels. Now, here's my challenge with this game. Even though this is not my genre of games, I'm here for Blade and Wolverine. These two are single-handedly some of my best Marvel characters in the way they've been designed from childhood, watching maybe the Blade movie, which I was first introduced to in 1999, 2000. And that really did open my eyes to a different level of cinema. I probably should not have been watching the movie then, but I did have adult supervision. I guess that counts for something. But a character like Wolverine is also super dynamic, and seeing the developers actually play a mission with both of them, even though they weren't together, really did pique my interest a lot more than it ever had for this game. Now, why would this game even appeal to a player like me, or even a player who's never really played a video game like this? You know, historically, video games like these are a little bit more challenging than your regular run and smash and bash and whatever it is video games that you play with your other superheroes. So yes, you will have to do a lot of strategic thinking in that aspect, and there's a slower pace in your own gameplay. But the developers have actually revealed that this game is going to have 8 difficulty modes, which I strongly believe is quite interesting. Now, they talked about the difficulty modes and said they have created a story and a normal difficulty mode in order for you as the player to just focus on learning how to play the game. This is very important because a lot of people who have never played a turn-based game are going to be coming into this ecosystem, in my opinion. Seeing the way the game is set up and seeing the way the game is targeted, having a Switch version, having a version on all of the possible platforms it could have a version on, this is probably going to be telling that the developers are probably trying to rope in as many players as they can into learning this type of game. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for them, for people to get a taste, and they'll know if they like it or they know if they don't like it. You never know, you might build fans from here. The difficulty modes as well that follow the normal difficulty after the story and normal is you have 3 heroic difficulties and you have 3 ultimate difficulties. These heroic and ultimate difficulties, their job is basically to start to change the parameters and remove some of the benefits that you have and allow for you to be able to have a much more gruesome and immersive experience. But for players like me, I may not touch that difficulty until maybe I'm way into the game or possibly another playthrough. And the developers have actually developed it to be somewhat flexible where if you as a player are still playing on a regular difficulty, these other difficulty modes eventually start to unlock and are made available to you to choose at your discretion. So you actually do not have to take on these difficulties. They actually provide you the option to say, hey, do you want to jump into this difficulty or do you want to stay on the difficulty that you're currently on? To me, this is actually pretty cool. Now, this does not also count or factor in the organic difficulty that the game is going to give you, so the game doesn't necessarily seem like it's going to become a wash at some point, because that's one of the risks that you can face. Whenever you make these games have these difficulty levels, there has to be some scaling within each difficulty segment where the game doesn't feel super easy or the game doesn't become something of a walk in the park or just, something you can kick over. And so, in my opinion, I think that this is going to strongly be attractive to players who want to look at this game but are not really well versed with the style of development. So good job on Firaxis for making this information known to a lot of us here in the community, especially those of us who haven't necessarily paid too much attention to the game. And I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section, how you are approaching this game. Do you even care at all? I do care now because I've started to see some of my favorite characters in the game, and I think it might be a game that I add to my library, maybe at the release or maybe a little bit past release. I'd love to hear your thoughts anyways as to how you're going to be dealing with Midnight Suns. And again, thank you very much to my community and my audience members that actually tuned me into this particular event. It's really changed my mind and given me more of an open-minded approach to come into this game. I won't be surprised if I actually purchase the game before released. Thanks so much for watching the video. video. I appreciate your time and audience. If you've not tapped into the Video Game Fight School channel, feel free to do so. You can hit the notifications bell as well. If that's something you haven't done, it would be much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.